Eagles of Coppin State University. Coppin State advances to the night's second-round action after beating Morgan State last night. Hello, everyone. Charlie Neal, along with my partner, Cy Alexander. And second meeting between these two schools this year. The first meeting won down in Greensboro by the Aggies of North Carolina A&T by 9. Can they continue their march toward madness here tonight?
I tell you what, they've got to come out and defend DeJuan Clayton. He's the engine that makes the car run for the Coppin State Eagles.
On the other side, when we talk about keys to the game for these Eagles of Coppin State, a great game last night. How will they have to come back and win tonight against these Aggies? They've
got to defend an 11-man deep roster. You don't know from night to night against A&T who is going to be the guy. They have 11 guys, and nobody is averaging in double figures. It's been a total team effort to go 13-3 in the regular season.
I noticed that looking at the stat sheet, 9 points here, 8 points there. Nobody in double figures, as you said. On the other side, for the Aggies, what is going to be, other than DeJuan Clayton, the key for them?
Keep the Eagles off the glass. Against Morgan State last night, the Eagles had 47 rebounds.
Well, that makes a difference. You have that many rebounds in a contest. Let's talk about DeJuan Clayton and what importance he has. He's a third or second team all-conference selection this year.
He knows how to use the high ball screen and also knows how to draw contact. And if you back off, he has the ability to knock down the three ball.
He had 23 points against Morgan State in their first round matchup. But on the other side, Cam Langley is the straw that stirs the drink for the Aggies, right?
Exactly. He's the quarterback. Not a great offensive player, but he plays the game one step ahead. He's great in anticipating what the defense is going to do and what his offensive players should do. He gets everybody involved.
All right, should be a good game here. Second game of the night, a doubleheader. Of course, earlier tonight we saw Norfolk State beat South Carolina State. Hopefully we'll see an exciting game here. The nightcap here from the Scope in Norfolk. Back with the opening tip in just a moment.
It's ongoing. The MEAC, educating student athletes for the game of life.
Back here at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, as we get ready for this one. Let's look at the starting lineup. First of all, for the Eagles of Coppin State. Number 1, Chad Andrews Fulton, Taquan Drummond, along with Cedric Council, DeJuan Clayton, and Lamar Morgan. For the Aggies of North Carolina A&T to be Quay Copeland, Terry Harris, Cameron Langley, Malik Gantz, and Nelson Nweke. And a shot inside. Of course, the Aggies had an opportunity. They got the opening tip. Just couldn't convert that time. As we look at DeJuan Clayton, and a foul is going to be whistled. This is going to go against Nelson.
He almost tackled him that time.
Yeah.
But he didn't get the ball up, Andrews Fulton, and he just went through the shooting motion. He would have gotten a shooting call.
DeJuan Clayton will inbound the ball. Fulton comes down with it, working against Langley.
Both teams are starting man-to-man. And that first set for the Aggies, they really did a great job in getting Nelson Nweke the ball on the low block. He just did not finish the play.
Coppin State beat Morgan State last night 81-71 after trailing by 8 at the half. And that's a throwaway and a turnover for the Eagles of Coppin State University, who came in averaging about 16.6 turnovers per contest.
Tell you what, Taquan Drummond thought that Cedric Council was going to zig when he zagged. Aggies running there, motion offense, the continuity.
When these two teams met earlier this year, the Aggies shot 54% from the field as the big fella Nweke comes up with the basket, the little baby hook.
Nice jump hook by Nelson Nweke.
And there's a strip and a turnover. All the way for two goes Langley. Cam Langley, the sophomore out of Southwest Guilford in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Aggies off to a good quick start.
But again, at the other end,
nice drive that time.
Clayton.
And that's what you got to do, is keep DeJuan Clayton out of the lane. He's excellent off dribble penetration and using that high ball screen.
this one just getting underway, just under 18 minutes to play, first half. Cam Langley. And off. There's a three ball.
And that's
Ball's
where
right down there for Gantz.
that's where he has really improved this year. Used to be purely a dribble drive kind of guy. Now he's shooting that three-point shot.
And shooting 33% from
Shooting it
three-point
well.
line.
Exactly.
Gantz out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. A senior, as we mentioned earlier. No one on this Aggie squad averaging in double figures.
Exactly. That last shot may have been a two-point shot, but they got three for it.
Back outside to Langley. And Gantz again. This one goes off the iron, but they get it on the offensive boards. Down the lane goes Copeland and a travel. Turnover for the Aggies, who are averaging 13 turnovers a ball game. So they've done a pretty good job of protecting the ball.
And what else they do really well is they play defense without fouling.
They're in a plus 1.2 in the turnover margin.
That's because of Cam Langley.
Do a better job of assisting as opposed to turning it over.
Exactly. He's a great quarterback. Got a bright future, 2 more years in the Aggies program.
Shot clock under 10, down to 6 right now. Take away that time by Langley. And Copeland couldn't get it, and we're going to get an out-of-bounds play. Our officials tonight, Duke Edsel, along with Everett Summers and Haywood Bostick. And for Duke Edsel, he's retiring after tonight's game. 37 years on the floor as a basketball official. Not a good turnaround move. DeJuan Clayton, and he's fouled. Not a good foul that time by Terry Harris.
And Clayton is upset with himself. He felt like that should have been an and one, because he's right there at the rim. He's too good of a player. In fact, he should have just gone up and dunked the ball. He's that good of an athlete.
He comes from a pretty good athletic family. Has a brother who plays with Philadelphia. I think he's with the 76ers now, Tobias Harris.
Yes. And they play just alike as it relates to having the ability to shoot the three-point shot. Does Terry, just like his brother Tobias.
He's got a sister who's the assistant coach down at Winthrop University. And the free throws are good for a Clayton correction.
And Kent Auslander is in the game. Had a great game off the bench last night in shooting a three ball.
He did.
He and Justin Stirs.
He had 12 points. He was 4 from 9 from three-point range. Auslander. Gets it down into the corner. And that three ball falls down for Lamar Morgan, Jr. out of Willingboro, New Jersey.
He had a couple big shots last night himself in the victory over Morgan State. Stirs and Auslander off the bench were very effective for the Eagles.
He was 3 of 7 from three-point range against Morgan State. That's 166 career threes for Mr. Morgan. Shot clock at 3. And they got it right at the buzzer. And that was Ed Mead.
To Terry Harris. And when he can make that first one, he has a chance to have a big night from the 3 line.
Terry Harris. There's
Nice high-low action that time. Andrews Fulton to Cedric Council. Finished at the rim. Nice post-entry pass.
One-point ball game. Under 15 to go. Down the lane. Thinking about it on the left side is Langley. Inside. Wide open. It just wouldn't fall that time for MEAC.
Both teams are executing their offense exceptionally well. You got good offensive efficiency.
Inside, off the glass, too hard that time for Fulton. Andrews Fulton, but they get the ball back into the hands of Morgan. Auslander for three, off the back of the iron. Too hard. Like I said, he had a pretty good game last night. Here's a timeout on the floor. 14-24. That's the time remaining here. We're in the first half of play. The night finale here. And we'll be back.
Athletes for the game of life.
At the Scope in Norfolk, Jay Joyner, one of your former students and players, now the head coach of the Aggies of North Carolina A&T in his third year there. He was an assistant for you also.
Exactly. He was on the championship staff in 2012-13. Was also on our 95-96 championship team. They went to the NCAA tournament. So I've had the opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament twice with Jay Joyner. Once as a player, once as a coach.
Assistant coach.
And they're reviewing that long distance two that we think Malik Gantz took for the Aggies. So are they changing it? Let's see what they're saying.
Well, they've got 9 points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, so it's already been changed. Not a matter whether they're going to change it. They have already changed it.
Duke Edsel over explaining things to Jay Joyner.
And Coppin State is utilizing the strategy to put length on Cam Langley to make it difficult for him to pass the ball. They have Kent Auslander, who's 6'7", 6'8". Now they switched to Lamar Morgan.
Ed Mead in the lineup now for Jay Joyner. As you said, they put a lot of people on the floor. He goes deep into his bench, and Ed Mead has the ball in his hands, gets it back outside to Jackson, and he'll take the long three. No good. And here come the Eagles with the ball. DeJuan Clayton. He runs the offense for Coach Juan Dixon, former Maryland standout. And there's another three from the corner. And this comes off the hands of Cedric Council. Council 3 points against Morgan State. He has equaled that before fouling out last night. Three-point ball game, 12-9. Coppin State, Ed Mead, long jumper, no good. And we got an offensive rebound, and we're going to get a foul. And it's going to go against the Eagles of Coppin State.
I think they called it on Kent Auslander, his first. Did a poor job of blocking out.
Also, we see in the lineup, big 7-foot kid, Medley Bacon, Brandon Medley Bacon for Juan Dixon. And that one may be Auslander's second foul.
Called it on Medley Bacon.
They called it on Bacon. Okay. Bacon, you're talking about that young man. He's just the third 7-footer to ever play at Coppin State.
And I tell you what, he's got a bright, bright future. Runs the floor real well. He's getting better offensively. Needs to just live in the weight room over the next summer.
They had Henry Coulter, played there from 04 to 05, and then Jason Iacona, a 7'1" kid who played for them between 97 and 01. There he is, and had the ball taken away, stripped out of his hands by Gantz. And the follow-up.
And that's what Ron Jackson can do.
Yep,
he is
Ron
a high major athlete.
He certainly is, a junior out of Clay County, Florida. 23 points when these two teams met in Greensboro earlier this year for that young man. One-point game. Aggies by 1. DeJuan Clayton, Urslander foul in the corner on a 3, which will send him to the line for 3. Urslander's brother is the assistant coach, John.
Played at Maryland with Juan Dixon. And now Kent has a chance to go to the line. He's a 74% free throw shooter, has a chance to shoot 3 free throws. And that was his spot last night. He hit a number of threes from that far left corner.
He's averaged 10.5 points a game the last 10 games he's played during this regular season. Shooting 41% from the field, 36% from three-point range. He's 10th in the conference in three-point percentage. Against A&T, he scored only 5 points and was 1 for 3 from three-point land earlier this year. But in the tournament so far, doing a pretty good job. 4 of 9 last night against Morgan State.
And into the game right now is Justin Steers. Came off the bench, played about 13 minutes, had 11 points, did an outstanding job for the Eagles.
And Steers did a fantastic job last night. Didn't play when these two teams played earlier this year. Jackson, strong move inside.
Just would not be denied with Ronald Jackson.
1-point Aggie lead. Urslander looking for some help. Juan Clayton comes out to help him. Clayton down the lane, off the glass, too hard. But the tip in that time.
Justin Steers.
Steers off the bench. Watch out for number 11.
Right, instant offense.
11 points.
The energize the bunnies.
3 blocks and 14 minutes for Coach Dixon last night. Winner of this game will play the winner of the Delaware State North Carolina Central game. That game will be played tomorrow, and that winner of this game will play them on Friday in the semifinals here at 8 p.m. They're going to call this one on Justin Steers, who's saying, "What did I do?"
He swiped his hand away. He can't do that. And I just saw Coach Juan Dixon mouth to Justin Steers, "You can't do that."
No, can't do it. 11:30. Right. That's the time remaining here. We're in the first half of play, and it's a 1-point ball game. Coppin State by 1 over the Aggies.
In our legacy that prepares you for the rest of your life. Coppin State University.
Along with Sir Alexander, Charlie Neal courtside here at the Scope in Norfolk for this Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference 2019 tournament action. First round action for the Coppin State Eagles, and actually for the Coppin State, it's their second game. They beat Morgan State last night, 81-71 for the Aggies. This is their first action. The winner here goes on to the semifinals on Friday. And Coppin State started the season 0-15, won 3 of their first 5 conference games, though, and won 2 of their last 7, including the finale last Thursday against Morgan State. So they beat Morgan State twice within a week.
And they've got some young pieces. I think Coach Dixon is doing a good job. He's got length too, young size.
Ed Mead, top of the key, shot clock at 5. He'll take the 3. It's good.
Nice pull up that time. Shot it with a lot of confidence. Cross dribble, knocked down the 3 ball.
So Ed Mead, 32% from three-point range. Chapman working around Andrews Fulton pick. Fulton with the ball in his hands, back out to Urslander. 6 on the shot clock. He walked. Trying to gather his feet before he took the shot.
Everybody can't be James Harden.
And, you know, I heard a lot of people talking about, does he actually travel when he does that step back?
It is so quick, and it's hard to. I've been watching it all year. Right? It's fooling me for sure.
10.5 to go, first half. In and out. Auslander gets it over to Clayton. Here's Williams in the lineup right now. Ibn Williams. Baseline, Steers rather. They're going to call a hook.
That's the second offensive foul on Justin Steers.
They're going to call a player control foul on him. And he's going to come out of the lineup right now. And he's going to be replaced by Cedric Council, the senior out of Kennesaw, Georgia.
And as well as he played last night, he is showing some inconsistency with his offense tonight. 2 offensive fouls.
Yeah,
and that was an offensive hook.
Yeah, he's not happy. But he's just a freshman out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So he has some years ahead of him. When you look at this team that Juan Dixon has, Andrews Fulton, I believe, maybe the only senior on this team other than Auslander being a grad student. So he's already has a degree.
Amari Hamilton jumped up in the air that time, not really knowing what he wanted to do with it. He was trying to find Ron Jackson, and Ron Jackson thought he was going to shoot it because he was going to the glass to try to offensive rebound the ball.
From the corner, Auslander misses everything. We're going to stay right here as this foul is going to be whistled against the Aggies. So it'll be out of bounds under the basket. Auslander go to the sideline along with DeJuan Clayton. So Cedric Council's in the lineup now with Taquan Drummond. Morgan has it in his hands. Oh, here's Drummond. Williams running the offense right now. That 3 ball falls for Lamar Morgan.
That's his second 3 ball tonight, 2 for 2. He looks like he's got his confidence and his stroke going.
A 1-point lead for Coppin State. Last year, this is the team that Coppin was won only 5 games. They bettered that this year by 2. Juan Dixon's first year was last year. Shot clock violation.
Great hustle that time by the Coppin State Eagles, trying to come up with that loose ball.
Into the Aggie lineup. Cam Langley comes back in, and he'll replace Amari Hamilton. Redshirt senior out of Durham goes to the bench. Ibn Williams, freshman out of Newark, New Jersey. And you got to look at this team that Juan Dixon has to put together with the youth that he has. They're a team that's going to be reckoned with going forward.
Another Steph Curry imitation by Lamar Morgan. 3 for 3 right now from deep.
Started all but 1 game for Coach Juan Dixon this year. 31% from 3-point range. Had 11 points against Morgan State. 3 threes in this game gives him 168 for the career. And that rebound pulled down by Cedric Council. Drummond driving, reverses it back out, almost loses it, has its pocket pick.
Got real lax and careless, did Taquan Drummond.
Ed Mead, 9 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist when these two teams met in Greensboro. Ed Mead drives inside. Ed Mead has it. He'll take the 3 short. But Jackson grabbed the rebound, and he is fouled. And that foul is going to go against Chad Andrews Fulton, the senior out of Philadelphia. Timeout on the floor. 7:41. That's the time remaining. We're here in the first half at the Scope in Norfolk. Back here at the Scope in Norfolk. Appreciation for law enforcement in the area. Norfolk Sheriff's Department against the Norfolk Police Department. Dribbling up and down the floor in full uniform, trying to see who can outscore the other. I'm not sure who won, the police or the sheriff, but it was exciting.
Yeah. I tell you what, right now, getting back to the game, the difference in this game right now is Lamar Morgan. 3 for 3 from the three-point line, off to a great start, 9 points. His jump shot looks really pure. Shot preparation, holding his follow-through, shooting it with a lot of confidence.
22-18, Coppin State out in front. A 4-point advantage, their biggest lead of the night. Three-point advantage, the Aggies. That's been their biggest edge. The Aggies will inbound the ball. They're coming off the hands of Cam Langley. He gets it inside to Copeland. 7:35 to go. Ed Mead working inside against Lamar Morgan. Down the lane. Travel.
And that's freshman Tyrone Lyons had a really good season coming off the bench. It's from Jay Joyner's hometown of Amityville, New York. Did a great job for the Aggies this year as a freshman.
5 turnovers for the Aggies in the game so far, 7 for Coppin State. Aggies only 13 turnovers a contest is what they averaged during the season. Comes Langley. Gives it off to Copeland. Copeland's no good. Rebound pulled down by Council. Cross to Clayton. DeJuan Clayton in the corner. 3-point shot short. And it's going to be Aggie ball. Substitution coming into the lineup for North Carolina A&T. Returning is Terry Harris. Going to the sideline, Tyrone Lyons. Terry Harris, 6'6", fifth-year senior from Dix Hills, New York.
Played at Eastern Michigan for the majority of his college career.
Before he came here. Little motion offense, the pull-up jumper, and that's blocked that time by Andrews Fulton. Nice pass inside. Not able to finish was Nowicki, but he'll go to the line for 2.
That's what Cam Langley can do. Sees what's happening on the floor. He's in the real sense of the word, he is a true floor general, pure point guard.
First free throw attempt for Nelson.
Look for some type of pressure if he makes the second one.
And he does.
And they're dropping back into a man-to-man.
Put that shoulder down and still wasn't able to get it to go. 6:05 to go. Ed Mead goes around the screen, gets the ball back on the right wing. Puts the 3 off the elbow, off defensive rebound. Here comes Clayton. Stepped out of bounds. That was Lamar Morgan. Didn't realize where he was as far as the sideline is concerned.
Both teams are a little sloppy right now on the offensive end. Neither team can. The Eagles can't extend their lead, and the Aggies haven't been able to cut into the lead.
5 turnovers for South Carolina, the North Carolina correction.
And that's what he'll do. He'll make a 3 when least expected. Big time shot. Nice shot preparation by Cam Langley.
And it's all tied at 22. Aggies with that last three-pointer, and that's a kick ball. Taquan Drummond, sophomore out of Newport News, Virginia. Inbounding the ball for Coppin State. Clayton looking inside. Andrews Fulton, and he is fouled. And he'll go to the line.
Shooting right at 64% for the season. And he's gotten out to a pretty slow start as Andrews Fulton tonight. Chad Andrews Fulton had a great game last night, but 0 for 3 so far tonight.
12 points, 6 rebounds, had a block shot before fouling out. He fouled out with 3:24 to go in that contest. Got to hit those free throws. 63% free throw shooter.
I saw him shake his head a lot of times. You know, psychologically, he needs to see the ball go through the basket at least one time to get his mind right.
First free throw attempt of the evening, 0 for 1. Second one is good, and the lead is 1. 23-22. It is the Eagles of Coppin State coming in as the number 7 seed. In the preseason, they were picked to finish 9th in the conference, so much better than preseason expectations, as that long shot by Terry Harris doesn't go, but they keep the ball on the offensive end and get a new shot clock.
Nice offensive rebound that time by Nelson Nowecki.
Andre Jackson in the lineup. He has the ball. Steers with that rebound. Clayton almost lost it. Looking behind the screen of Fulton, and that one was way off the mark. Here's Jackson. Crossing in the middle, they set it up with Cam Langley. 4:15 to go before the intermission. Steers comes out on Langley. Langley drives down the lane, bumped, puts it up. No call. Auslander with the ball. Auslander down low to Andros Fulton. 3:50 remaining. And a foul. And that'll be Justin Steers, the freshman, going to the free throw line. 52% free throw shooter, and there's a timeout on the floor with 3:45 to go. And a one-point ball game here in this night finale of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Tournament on Flow Sports.
There will always be Marines.
At the scope in Norfolk, Charlie Neal, Cy Alexander, courtside with you. One semifinal team has already been selected for Friday. It will be the Spartans of Norfolk State coming in as the number 1 seed, and they will play the winner of tomorrow's game between Bethune-Cookman and Howard University. That'll be a 6 p.m. semifinal on Friday evening, and the other semifinal will be one of these two teams that's playing here tonight, and they will play the winner of the Delaware State North Carolina Central game that will be played tomorrow. And that semifinal of the winner of this game will be played on Friday night at 8 p.m. right here at the Scope in Norfolk.
Delaware State upset the 6th-ranked, 6th-seeded Savannah State Tigers, and it's a big win for Coach Eric Skeeters.
Certainly is. Steers at the free throw line tonight. And he hits a pair of free throws. And he has 4 points. And there's Harris.
And that's
with
what
the
he
long
does.
jumper.
Nice shot preparation, nice twins pass.
All tied at 25.
Big time rebound by Quay Copeland.
Morgan couldn't get that 3 to fall. And this one, again, is Copeland from downtown, and now the Aggies with the three-point advantage. Blocking foul. Haywood Bostic. Defender was outside, or was inside the restricted area. He pointed there. That's how you know whether it's a block or a charge.
Right, and that's what the three ball can do for you. It can change the game, just like that. Two made threes by the Aggies, and they go from being down to being up 3.
Clayton at the free throw line with 4 points. He's perfect at the line so far tonight. 2 for 2. Well, you just jinxed
Yeah,
him.
you got him. You got him. The play-by-play jinx.
Clayton out of Bowie, Maryland, went to St. John's College High. 19 points when these two teams met in Greensboro back on January 21st, and he missed them both. We're going to get a foul. And it's going to stay. It's going to be a foul against the Aggies. It's going to stay on Coppin State's end.
Pushing foul against Nowicki.
19 fouls against the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. 16 fouls against Coppin State.
So you have at the line, they want to go to the monitor to take a look and see exactly who should be. They know who got the foul, but they're not quite sure
who's supposed to be shooting.
Who's supposed to be shooting.
Now, we talked about this Aggie team starting the season 0-5, then won 4 of their next 5. Started the MEAC schedule 5-0, lost 3 conference games. The big one was the last one. The last conference games, you know, they had some big wins, you know. And when they lost those 3 conference games, the 3 that they lost by big scores. They lost by 24 to Florida A&M. They lost by 16 to Bethune. They lost by 18 to Norfolk State.
But they turned around and got a big win against North Carolina Central.
The last
beat
game
them
of the season,
the last game of the season by plus 20.
22.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, 74-52 was the final there. So they close out the season the way you're supposed to, on a winning note. They won 4 straight down the stretch after that 18-point loss to Norfolk State.
Right. So they come into the tournament feeling really good about their potential to be a threat to take home the MEAC tournament championship and get that elusive automatic bid.
Justin Steers at the line. Under 3 minutes to go. We're in the first half. First one is good.
I really like this young man, Steers. He had a couple offensive fouls, went to the bench, got himself together, and has come back and been money from the free throw line since he's been back in the game.
And he makes a pair. 1-point ball game. 28-27. Norfolk's A&T rather here in Norfolk. There's a long 3 that time for Cam Langley. He has a kind of an odd form, doesn't he?
Yes.
The way he let that one go looks like it's a shot put.
Right. Ken Oslander is one of those guys that is all or nothing, and right now it's been nothing. Last night it was all.
Feast of famine, right?
Feast of famine.
And this Aggie athletic program has had fantastic success.
No doubt.
Even last weekend with Kayla White, their track star at the NCAAs, coming out with a win and a gold medal in the women's 200.
I had the opportunity to interview her about a month ago when she set the world record indoor, and just a humble young lady.
And she broke that last weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she said, Coach, I was just running. Sound like Forrest Gump.
Well, you know, she didn't start track until she was in the 11th grade. You know, you would think she started running a lot.
Right.
She was actually a dancer, and she decided to, because the track coach saw her, said, hey, You need to try a little track as we get a foul. Inside. That's Ibrahim Sila.
And again, you got Justin Steers going to the line so far tonight. He is perfect, 4 for 4. I think he got hit a little bit in the head.
Yeah. So Steers at the free throw line once again.
And a team that does not normally foul, the Aggies right now have 10 fouls, and the Coppin over the next 2 minutes will be in the double bonus, and A&T is not yet in the 1-and-1. That's a reverse from what the Aggies normally do.
No, to be the next team foul will put them in the 1-and-1.
Right.
Steers, second one won't fall for him. 3-point ball game, 31-28. Conference also had another big showing in the men's 400. Tyrell Richard from South Carolina State, as we get that one to go off the glass, came up big with a gold medal in the world in the 400. And Martha Bisa, Norfolk State, finished 5th in the 800. So great showing by MEAC schools last weekend at the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships down in Birmingham, Alabama.
Congratulations to those student athletes for representing the MEAC extremely well. Nice kiss that last time by Quay Copeland off the glass.
1:33 is the time remaining here in the first half of this one. Long inbounds pass comes to Council. Here's Clayton. Clayton driving in, double team, down low. Council, reverse, it goes.
Nice reverse that time on the baseline by Cedric Council. Almost a backcourt violation by Quay Copeland.
And they keep it going, don't they?
Quay Copeland is instant offense. When he gets it going, he's hard to guard. Can score off the bounce and shoot the 3 ball.
35-30 is our score.
What did I tell you about Kent Auslander? Feast the family.
He's struggling.
He is struggling tonight.
And had a great game, as you said, against Morgan State.
And could come back in the second half.
Yeah, right. Can't buy a basket.
Can't even hold on to the ball.
Well, they were trailing Morgan State at the half by 8 yesterday, so they came back because at one time Morgan State had a big lead over this Coppin State squad, but Juan Dixon was able to rally them in the second half. Terry Harris gets it back out to Ed Mead. Shot clock under 10 right now. Long jumper, yes! And this one is good by Copeland. Copeland is on fire right now for the Aggies. He has 10 points. 2 of 3 from 3-point range. Two seconds left on the first half clock. 0.6 of a second left right now as that ball went out of bounds.
Quay Copeland getting it done for the Aggies offensively. Scoring off the dribble, kissing it off the glass, hitting threes. He has been instant offense right now. He's up to 10 points on 4 of 7 shooting and 2 for 3 from the 3-point line.
Yeah, that's the way you get it done. Copeland, the junior out of Greenville, South Carolina. Started his college career at Middle Tennessee State University before coming over to Greensboro and North Carolina A&T. He had 5 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists when these two teams played earlier this year. In fact, from 3-point range, he was 1 of 5. He didn't have a good game, but he's made up for it tonight.
He lost his confidence somewhere during the course of the conference season, but he has regained it during that 4-game winning streak.
That's going to be the half. 38-30. And it's been the Aggies. They've trailed early, but they've come back. And it's an 8-point lead for the number 2 seeded team over the number 7 seed team at the half. Back with our halftime activities from the Scope in just a moment.
You will achieve. You will finish. Because that's what Aggies do.
At halftime, it's a 38-30 Aggie lead over the Eagles of Coppin State here at the Scope in Norfolk. It's basketball tournament time as we march into madness, MEAC style, at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. And I'm joined by Dr. Harold Martin, Chancellor of North Carolina A&T State University. You have to feel very good about what your team has been able to accomplish basketball-wise, both the men and the women.
We've had a great season. Both coaches have gotten a lot of support. Athletics is so important to universities, and so I've just been extremely pleased around the focus of our AD, the types of coaches he's hired, and the culture he's creating within our Department of Athletics.
What you're talking about, you've given him kind of the green light, and he's hired just the right people, it seems like. First of all, I have to say congratulations to you and your team and Dwayne Ross for what an outstanding job they did at the track and field indoor, winning a 3rd straight, both on the men and women's side. That's so hard to do.
It's hard to do, but Dwayne Ross, if you know these coaches, I always say to our constituents that we have some very demanding coaches. They not only demonstrate how much they care about these young people, but they absolutely develop their talent, and they're able to convince their families and these young people that come to North Carolina A&T, and we'll work with you not only to develop your raw talent, but we'll also make sure that you finish your education as well.
And of course, we know what Kayla White did this past weekend at the NCAA Indoors Track and Field Championships down in Birmingham, Alabama. Set another 200 record, broke her own record that she set earlier this year, had the fastest time in the world this year. Quite a young lady. We were talking about her a little bit earlier. She didn't even start running track until she was in the 11th grade, and somehow, transitioned from a dancer to a track star.
That's right. And fortunately, someone recognized her talents when she was in 11th grade and convinced her she ought to go out and try out for track, and the rest is history. But you made reference to her as an incredible, remarkable young woman, and that she is.
She is out of Miami, Florida. I asked her, how did you get her all the way up from Miami through to North Carolina? She passed a lot of schools getting to you, but Dwayne Ross did a very good job there. The other part of that is that we talked about the MEAC and what a success they had in track this past weekend. Terrell Richard from South Carolina State with the 400 meters for the men, and Martha Bissa from Norfolk State finished 5th. So, you've got to feel good about the conference as a whole.
I do feel very good about the conference. And Commissioner Thomas has done a great job working with the board, working with the ADs of each of the campuses, quite honestly. And one of the things we talk about as a board, working with the commissioner, is brand, reputation, making sure that we're setting high expectations and standards for our student athletes. Quite honestly, he carries that out in remarkable ways, and we've been very, very fortunate. We really have.
And you'd say fortunate not only for the conference, but let's talk about A&T in particular, the school that you're responsible for, because we know how important success in athletics is in terms of driving enrollment. You've had success in baseball. You had success in bowling last year. You've had success in football, winning the Celebration Bowl 3 of the 4 years that it's been in existence. Is there anything you can't win?
Well, it's we talk about the importance of athletics at our university because it does create excitement and enthusiasm. It shines a spotlight on the front door of our university, and it creates an opportunity for bright and talented students who are looking for that right institution that's the right fit for them. And students want to go where winners go. And so when we talk about winning, we don't restrict winning to just simply athletics. We talk about winning in our classrooms with our students and ensuring their academic success. We talk about winning in our research. We talk about winning in our engagement with our community and our university's economic impact on our community, on our state, quite honestly. And so competing is significant to what we do, quite honestly, and it drives our passion. And as I remind our board, it doesn't hurt that I hate losing. I really do. I hate losing anything, and that's just the way. And I think that's a passion that you carry forward, and you want to win the right way. And so you hire smart, responsible, ethical people who join your team, who tend to drive that same kind of passion around winning, demanding the best of our students, and so that we are ensuring, as we promise their parents, that we're going to provide them a very sound quality education. So when they leave our universities, they can get a job.
What has that done for your infrastructure, though? Because, again, with success, that means you're bulging at the seams, right?
It does. We have to manage enrollment growth, which we're seeking to do today. But it does mean we have to keep making investments. And so we keep investing in academic buildings. So today, we've just completed a new student center that opened up beginning of this new year. We've just broken ground for a new College of Engineering complex that we're really, really excited about because it helps to expand our engineering programs, which are a signature program for the university, growing our research. We'll break ground very soon for a new residence hall because that continues to focus on the growing population of students we serve. But we're also partnering with community leaders to build buildings on our research park to recruit and retain jobs in Greensboro, North Carolina, So we just opened a new economic development building on our research park that retains a new company that started by one of our alums that allows us to keep those jobs in North Carolina, drive economic growth and prosperity in our community as well. So investments are big business. And I remind all of our constituents, excellence is expensive. It is not cheap. So we have to keep making investments. We have to keep raising money, doing the things we need to do. And so athletics is a great venue for us keeping excitement and enthusiasm high, but we also have to keep boasting about those other things that we think are even more critical to our future as a university.
Since you've taken over as chancellor, what are you most proud of, things that you have been able to accomplish since being there?
Well, I think probably reframing a very progressive, bold strategy for our future. And we are working that strategy in a most focused way. We're very, very keenly driving our strategies around new programs of the future, revising programs, recruiting students to our university who can meet the demands and rigors of our academic programs. We're recruiting really a truly exceptional group of new faculty who are transitioning our university for well into the future, quite honestly. And so that strategy for our future, which we're working to, that probably is the hallmark of what I'm most successful.
There was a time when African Americans couldn't go to Ole Miss and Alabama, and they gravitated to the A&Ts and the HBCUs because of the integration. Has that hurt in any way that you see in the future, or you're being able to get those kids back?
Well, that's a great question. In general, African American students have lots of options today, and record numbers of them over the last 2 decades or so have found their way to historically white institutions. Historically black institutions, what we're doing on our campus is that strategy of the future is positioning our university to compete with those institutions that have, over the last couple of decades, attracted these top students. We're now pitching aggressively our successes toward those same students and aggressively recruit them in record numbers to our university. They want variety, they want different degree programs, they want excellence in a variety of support services. They want to make sure when they graduate with a degree they can get a job with.
Right.
And they also want those amenities that they'll find in other institutions as well.
Plus, you're taking care of them.
So we're taking care of them. That's critically important.
That's the most important thing.
That's important. And they're taking care of us.
Right.
They have come to our university. They are excelling. They really are. I like the Caleb Whites, formerly Tariq Cohen, for example.
Right.
Student athletes who are doing exceedingly well. They're not only wanting to come to our university in record numbers, they really want to perform, not only on the playing field, but in our classrooms, our research labs. So we're really excited about our very bright future.
Very good. Dr. Harold Martin, always a pleasure talking to you.
Mine.
Much success. Always great seeing you. Your team is leading at halftime, and they hopefully will continue to play on the Friday, right?
And let me say thank you for all you do for us.
Well, thank
More
you
than
so
your
much.
magic.
We'll be back. More of our halftime activities. Second half coming up from the scope in just a moment. Back here at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. We get ready to start the second half, 38-30. Our halftime score, the Aggies of North Carolina A&T over the Eagles of Coppin State. And with a right to head to the semifinals on Friday to play the winner of tomorrow's game between Delaware State and North Carolina Central. Let's check out some of the first half highlights from these two squads. And, of course, it was a tart start for the Coppin State Eagles. In fact, they ran up to a 4-point lead early on in this contest, 22-18, and led in the scoring in the first half by Lamar Morgan, who was 3 of 4 from three-point range. But at the other end, the Aggies of North Carolina A&T started to make their comeback, and they went on a pretty good run of their own after trailing with 8:44 to go.
And I think everything for the Aggies was keyed by two players. Clay Copeland and Cam Langley really got it done the last 8 minutes of the first half for the Aggies.
Copeland with 10 points, Langley with 8 points, and between the two of them, 4 of 5 from three-point range.
Right. Big shots at clutch times for the Aggies. Copeland and Langley showed right now for the Aggies.
Now, one of the things that if there's any telltale stat, it would be the fact that the Aggies only went to the free throw line 4 times in the first half.
And they're doing an excellent job defensively on DeJuan Clayton. He's 1 for 5, 4 points. As you know, he's the straw that stirs the drink for the Coppin State Eagles.
That's right. He certainly is. In terms of other key stats, the Coppin State has turned the ball over 10 times, and the Aggies have been able to convert that into 13 points.
That's why they're leading 38-30. And again, you've got to give a lot of credit to the Aggies defensively, really doing a great job on DeJuan Clayton.
So North Carolina A&T will get the ball to start the second half. Malik Gantz will inbound the ball for Coach Jay Joyner in his 3rd year. Coach played on that 95-96 championship team at South Carolina. Originally got the job as the interim coach at A&T, and then they took that interim off his title and made him the head coach.
He beat Central twice. That'll do it every time.
It certainly will. We also want to acknowledge the fact that we haven't really talked about one of the great former coaches who passed away last summer from North Carolina A&T, Don Corbett.
Yes, had the opportunity to coach against Coach Corbett. I hired his son, Darren Corbett, he was on my championship staff at North Carolina A&T when we went to the NCAA tournament in 2012-13. And, you know, there's a great basketball family. Don Corbett, all-time tournament winner, winning 7 tournament championships in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And, you know, I learned a lot going against Coach Corbett. And his coach, his son, Darren, was an excellent coach on my staff.
Oh, neither team has put any points on the board here in the second half. We played almost a minute. You know, we talked about the fact that Coppin went to the free throw line 15 times. Actually, this Aggie team doesn't foul a lot during the season. They have the fewest fouls of any team in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
They do a great job of playing defense with their feet and their bodies and their hands and getting in position. And they're well coached. I give a lot of credit to associate head coach and defensive coordinator, one of my former players, Will Jones, on that staff for Coach Joyner.
On the other side, this Coppin State team has won 4 MEAC tournaments. They won it back in, as you saw, that 3-ball fall down for Lamar Morgan. He continued to be hot from downtown, isn't he? The junior out of Willingboro, New Jersey.
Shot that one from Baltimore.
At least out in the parking lot, right?
No doubt.
First points of the second half for either team. And we talk about great ex-coaches. How about Fang Mitchell over at Coppin State? 4 MEAC tournaments, 90, 93, 97, and 2008. Won or shared 9 regular season titles. The last one was 2004. He shared it with South Carolina State. You had just left the year before and gone on to Tennessee State.
We had some great battles, Coach Mitchell, and he's doing really well right now, retired, living in Kennesaw, Georgia, probably watching the game tonight. Still a big MEAC supporter and also a big supporter for Coppin State.
How about some of those names that came out of Coppin, like Turquin Martin, Stephen Stewart, and Tywan McQueen?
Stephen Stewart was on the staff right now with Eric Skeeters. They got that big win
at Delaware State
versus Delaware State.
And the follow-up, the slam down by Ronald Jackson. Battle for the loose ball, and we're going to get a whistle, a foul.
And right now it's a critical time for Coppin State to maintain their poise. That's what Norfolk State did in that first game when they were down 11 points in the second half. They didn't get rattled. They kept, and that's what being a champion gives you, that mental confidence that we can do this. Right now, Coppin is still learning how to do it.
Are you surprised, and is Coach surprised, no one on this Aggie squad made the all-conference team?
No, I tell you what, that's amazing to me, Charlie. It really is. The big fella, don't be so mean. Ibrahim Sila with a throwdown.
9-point advantage. The 3-ball, that's a little too hard.
This is a critical time right here. Aggies could turn this into a 20-point rout the way they're executing right now. Doing an excellent job. Well coached by Jay Joyner. What a screen.
And the 3-ball, well, that's a 2 actually for Copeland. Quay Copeland, 45-33. A 12-point lead now for North Carolina A&T. And a lot of time left from the baseline. That one falls for Council, Cedric Council.
Good answer
breaks the
that
scoring
time.
drought.
Right.
Yeah, they went almost 3.5 minutes in this second half without scoring. That is Coppin State.
The
this one's going
athleticism of Ronald Jackson.
That's going to go against
display.
Council. Sila, a grad kid from Harlem in New York. He's a big fellow, isn't he?
Yes, he played.
They listed him as 6'8". He looks bigger,
he's bigger than that. Trust me, he's bigger than that.
Meanwhile, Ronald Jackson at the line, he's listed at 6'8" also.
And he's probably 6'8". That's why this kid is about 6'9.5", maybe 6'10".
Ronald Jackson with 7 points. First free throw made for him tonight. 1-on-1 at the line. 75% free throw shooter from Clay County, Florida. Second one won't fall. Nice move by Andrews Fulton with the putback.
Nice offensive rebound. Attacked the glass. Didn't settle for thinking that Lamar Morgan was going to make the 3-ball.
Offensive rebound by Jackson. They'll set it up again. Swinging it across is Gantz. Down the lane. Gantz puts it up. Blocked. Good hands in there by Council to block it. And there was nobody there but the referee.
Yeah.
Wrong team.
He thought he had an Aggie on his. That's stripes, my friend.
Timeout on the floor. 8-point game. 15:45 to go. And it's the Aggies trying to control this and their own destiny as they head and want to get to the semifinals on Friday. Back with more from the Scope right here on Flow Sports. with Cy Alexander, Charlie Neal here at the Scope in Norfolk. It's MEAC Basketball 2019. Tournament time. Marching on into madness. Winning team gets the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Who will it be? Still a lot of teams left. North Carolina A&T, of course, one of them. So is Howard University. So is Delaware State. North Carolina Central. Of course, Norfolk State, the #1 seed. Clayton's shot won't fall.
And I think one of the keys right now is that Coppin State, if they're going to have a chance to win this ball game, is going to have to figure out
how to stop that play by Jackson.
That's the first thing. But from an offensive standpoint, DeJuan Clayton has got to get involved in the game. Only has 4 points.
There's Auslander hitting the three. Now that's a kid that can awaken the sleeping giant, kid.
Right. Feast of famine right now. First half it was famine. Could be feast in the second half.
Don't let him get hot. Auslander. Auslander will put up 20 points earlier this season as a season high. He did that against Savannah State. He's got his spot in the corner, and it was almost taken. It is stolen away. They were looking for him. He was posted up over there. But it's Cameron Langley getting it inside, and guess who? Ron Jackson.
Breakdown defensively by Coppin State.
Nine-point ball game, 49-40. Auslander in the corner once again, but somebody's there on him this time. There's a deep three that time by Lamar Morgan, and that they get the ball back. That is Coppin State, and Clayton goes in strong, will pick up the foul and go to the line.
And that's what Clayton needs to do. He needs to use the high ball screen and just attack the rim at this particular point in time. He's shooting 75% from the charity stripe. He needs to get himself to the free throw line to get himself going.
Only 4 points for him. 2 for 4 at the free throw line tonight. A young man that averages in double figures, second team all conference, 9th in the conference in scoring this year, averaging 14 points a game. He was 10th in assists and 5th in minutes played, averaged 34 minutes a game.
And right now he just has 5 points.
49-41. 8-point game with 13:45 to go here in the second half. Ed Mead down low. Ron Jackson almost had his pocket pick. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Ed Mead gives off. And no good by Langley. Cam Langley couldn't get that one to go. Auslander posted up in the corner, trying to get him to get in the ball. He does get it. Puts it up. It's off the back of the iron, but he gets the rebound. And it's a
nice
turnover.
tip that time by Malik Gantz.
He sure
right
did.
place, right time.
Came up and picked the pocket of the Coppin State player. 13 minutes to go. Here's Cam Langley down the lane, gets it back to Jackson. Ron Jackson hits a three.
Nice rhythm that time. Nice shot preparation by Ron Jackson. Held his follow through. Good find by Cameron Langley.
Ron Jackson continues to play very well in this game for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. His season high, and he's possibly going to break that one. That came against Coppin State earlier this season when they played down in Greensboro, and he had a 23-point performance in that contest. He also grabbed 10 rebounds last Thursday against North Carolina Central.
He's on pace right now to get a double-double.
on the line. We've seen a lot of those lately. Players standing out of bounds when they get the ball. Didn't realize it. And Malik, correction, that is Lamar Morgan, rather.
Coppin, again, as we talked about, you must maintain your poise, and that's what was so impressive about Norfolk State in the first game. A&T is playing like a team that won 13 conference games.
So Cam Langley takes a seat on the bench, and now coach wants to call a timeout. That is Coach Jay Joyner. And this is a 30-second timeout. Regardless, we're going to step aside. 12:21 and time remaining, and a 52-41 lead for North Carolina A&T, the number 2 seed at the MEAC tournament, right here on Flow Sports. With 12:21 to go in this contest, the Aggies on top by 9 points. And you know what is interesting, Si, is the fact that when you look at the stats for the season and how much difference between these two squads, the Aggies were ranked 8th in the conference in scoring. Coppin State was ranked 9th in the conference in scoring. So neither team was setting the world on fire in terms of putting points on the board, but they were scoring, that is A&T, just under 70 points a game, 63 points a game for Coppin State. Urslander foul.
And what makes A&T such a serious threat is you don't know from night to night who's going to give you what. That makes them hard to scout. And tonight in the first half, you're talking about Cam Langley making 2 3-point jump shots, and they're backing off because they're thinking he's not going to even shoot the ball.
Right.
Quay Coppin, who's actually been in a slump, is having a big half. So, they had a big half.
Yeah, and so if you're the team scouting the other team, and again, we talk about nobody in double figures, nobody is consistently standing out as Auslander hits a pair of free throws. It makes it even more
more difficult
for you
to prepare.
Right. 52-43 with 12 minutes to go. Travel is the call, a turnover that time by Ron Jackson. Got a little bit too anxious trying to go down the lane. The timeout on the floor. 11:58 is the time remaining. And this first round action for the Aggies, and they are in control right now. They have a 9-point advantage, 52-53. Along with Cy Alexander, Charlie Neal courtside at the Scope in Norfolk. It's MEAC basketball, and it's tournament time, 2019. And the Aggies of North Carolina A&T trying to get back to the championship game. They beat Coppin earlier this year, 80-71 at home. They were preseason picked to finish number 5, and they did a better job coming in at number 2 seed in this tournament. While Coppin State in the preseason poll was picked number 9, and they come in as the number 7 seed.
Right now, the Aggies changed up their defense out of that timeout. Got a rim protector right there with Ibrahim Siler. Don't bring that weak stuff in here, young man.
Siler, big fella.
He is.
He takes up a lot of space.
Got a big body and is excellent timing on his ability to block shots.
Ed Mead down the lane against Auslander. Backs it back out. They'll set it up again. Hamilton's there. Blocked up top. Big block by Steers.
Steers is a complete player. He's got a chance to be really good.
Clayton inside to Steers, and he dunks it at the other end.
Great defensive play. Rewarded with a nice pass so he can finish the offensive play. Going to be an excellent player for the Eagles.
Steers comes in out of Philadelphia, just a freshman in class. You know why I said that? Because at this juncture in the season, you're not a freshman anymore.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. He's a sophomore on the court.
Especially after 31 games.
Right,
32 games.
And he's really a nice weapon for Coach Juan Dixon.
So another big body comes in. This is Nelson Nwiki comes back in at 6'9", grad student out of Grandview, Missouri. Started his college career at Arkansas State before coming over to North Carolina A&T territory. This is going to be a turnover. Well, one of the things Auslander was saying, at least pick it up. Don't let them pick it up and take a chance of scoring a basket.
And that's what almost happened that time. And again, you see the body language by the Coppin State Eagles. It's not the best.
Well, give Coppin State some time, give Juan Dixon some time. I think there's going to be a team to reckon with as we get that 3 ball that time from Amari Hamilton.
Got the shooter's touch that time.
39% from 3-point range. Amari Hamilton. He's in, and we got a 3-pointer. Count the basket. Auslander trying to complete a 4-point play. Count the basket.
He really likes that corner jump shot.
And Nwiki was the one who picked up the personal foul.
Four-point play could be a big swing.
And he hits the free throw. So it is a 4-point play. It was a 10-point game before that play with the Aggies out in front. 10:01 the time remaining. We're at the midway point of the second half from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. Langley across court. Inside. Blocked from behind, but Steers getting close to getting a technical foul. Slamming that ball on the ground.
Good thing he was able to catch it, because had it gone above his head, that was definitely going to tech.
That's going to put Ron Jackson, Jr. out of Clay County, Florida, at the free throw line. What a night he's had. Ron Jackson.
Double-double.
14 points, 10 rebounds. 1 of 2 at the free throw line. 1 of 3 at the free throw line. He's also hit a 3-pointer tonight.
Right, and that's not something that is normally in his repertoire.
Plus, he also has a steal. So he's created a turnover. The second one is good, and the lead is 7. Clayton driving inside, looking, and there's a turnover. Blind pass. He's not Patrick Mahomes, is he?
No, he is not. He's having a rough night tonight, Mr. Clayton. We had him down as our offensive keys for Coppin State, and one of the defensive keys, and A&T has done the job on DeJuan Clayton.
They certainly have. He only has 5 points tonight. Auslander clears the boards for Coppin State. Here's Clayton now. All the way in the corner. There's a 3 ball by Morgan. Lamar Morgan. So they're not going away easily. 15 points for Morgan. He is 6 of 10 from 3-point range.
And the way this game has been going, you would think the Aggies are up a lot higher. Only up 4 points.
Oh, that went in. Juan Dixon, he couldn't believe it. It went up so high.
Unbelievable. Amari Hamilton must be living right. Because that ball hit the top of the rim, the top of the backboard, and bounced in. That's his second 3 that's touched every part of the basket, including the top of the backboard.
It was a 4-point game before that. It's 5 right now for North Carolina A&T with 8:24 to go. Clayton and his And he gets it off the glass, and it might have been blocked, which might have helped it go in that time.
Tyrone Lyons might have tipped it.
He certainly, I think, did. As unimpressive as Coppin State has looked, they're right in this ball game. It's a 5-point lead, 59-54, just under 8 minutes to go. Down the lane, there goes Lyons, and he puts it up for 2. The freshman out of Amityville, New York. And this is a foul that's going to be whistled against Lyons. That foul, I think, goes against Ron Jackson. There's a timeout on the floor with 7:42 to go in this contest. 7-point lead for the Aggies. When we come back to the Scope in Norfolk for MEAC basketball on Flow Sports.
Of life.
Charlie Neal, Cy Alexander here at the Scope in Norfolk. It's MEAC basketball tournament time. As we march on into madness, winner goes on to Friday's semifinal. And they'll play the winner of tomorrow's game between Delaware State and North Carolina Central. That game will be played at 8 p.m. right here at the Scope on Friday evening. Earlier today, we saw Norfolk State, the #1 seed, knock off South Carolina State 78-73, and they'll play the Howard University Bethune-Cookman winner on Friday at 6 p.m. as DeJuan Clayton at the free throw line hits a very important and crucial free throw.
You've got to make every opportunity now offensively that you have when you're trying to come back in what I call crunch time now. Last 7 minutes, who has the mental and physical intensity?
5-point ball game right now. Copeland, long jumper off the back of the iron. And it is Andrews Fulton with the rebound for Coppin State. A chance to close the gap. They're down by 5 right now, almost a turnover. Here's Clayton getting the ball in his hands. Auslander out of the lineup right now. That was blocked going up. That should have been goaltending. Possibly, well, that's what Dwan Dixon is thinking.
I think he said he hit it before it hit the glass.
It did. Right. It did. It did. Auslander grabs the loose ball, the rebound. Blocking foul is going to be called. And it's going to go against Quay Copeland. His first. I think they want to look at this. Oh, that's where the blocking foul is.
Big free throws right now for DeJuan Clayton. Can cut it to 3. Got a 1-and-1.
A&T 18 fouls, only 3 team fouls against Coppin State. So that's a big free throw, makes the front end of the 1-and-1. So Coppin State not in danger of the Aggies shooting right now. The Aggies have committed 18 fouls, and it's a 3-point ball game. Langley running the offense with Copeland. Copeland working against Auslander down the lane, and Auslander bumps him, and he'll go to the line for 2. Copeland was hoping to get the basket, more frustrated that he didn't get the basket than anything else, right, even though he was fouled.
Right. Big free throws right now for Quay Copeland, who is 2 for 4 so far.
Missed a couple. He has 12 points in the ball game. Is an 83% free throw shooter, and averaged 24 minutes for Coach Jay Joyner. In fact, in this past season, scored in double figures, 13 games. And coming into the tournament, he had scored 26 points in the previous 2 games. He had 14 against Florida A&M and 12 against North Carolina Central.
He's picked his confidence back up at the right time for the Aggies on the offensive end.
63-58. 6:14 to go. Clock running. Clayton. Shot clock down under 10 right now. Auslander. And that runner by Clayton just wouldn't fall for him.
And that's a big defensive sequence for the Aggies, up 5.
Kick ball. $20 seconds. Reset the shot clock. And the ball stays on the Aggie end. Down the lane goes Terry Harris for 2.
Nice shot fake. Dribble pull up by Terry Harris. Big basket for the Aggies. Takes the lead back up to 7.
5:25 to go. Inside. Andrews Fulton.
Again, the Eagles are keeping the ball in DeJuan Clayton's hand. Let him make the plays.
Harris, another 3. Good.
Big basket. Nice find from Cam Langley to Terry Harris.
Terry Harris picks up the foul this time. Terry Harris for North Carolina A&T. You know, we talk about no one's averaging double figures, but we've got a couple players from that North Carolina A&T in double figures tonight. We have Copeland with 14 points, Harris with 11.
And he's been a big spark, and Ron Jackson with 15.
Langley just 2 points away from going into double figures himself.
And has 11 assists to only 4 turnovers. That's why I said early on he was the straw that stirs the drink. He has the keys to the engine.
And only 1 foul.
He's a very smart point guard.
Comes from a family of basketball players. His
right.
dad, his brother Kiefer is at Greensboro College, a Division III school, and his twin brothers Keyshawn and Kobe going to UNC Greensboro next season. That's where his dad played.
Right. They originally committed to Virginia Tech.
Something happened, huh? On the way to the bank.
Yeah, on the way to the bank. On the way to Blacksburg.
They got
derailed.
They got hijacked.
They got hijacked to Greensboro.
Not mad at UNCG. Second one no good. (68-61). 7-point game with 4:35 to go. Jackson. Down the lane. Gantz had trouble handling it. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Ron Jackson couldn't get it to go. And Steers with the rebound. All the way over. That's short. That shot by Morgan. Morgan has hit some threes today. Four minutes, the time remaining. They're going to go and look at something over there, but while they do that, we'll take a timeout. With 4 minutes to go, it's a 7-point ball game, and the Aggies lead it 68-61. go in this one. Strategy for Coppin State down the stretch side.
Make sure you are allowing one shot and one shot only. You might want to apply some pressure after made field goals to see if you can create a turnover. And you don't want to, you want to make sure you take care of the basketball. And Clayton has had a couple unforced turnovers that, just trying stuff that really wasn't there. He wasn't being Patrick Mahomes.
I hear you. The Aggies need to just take care of the basketball, right?
Big miss that time by Malik Gantz.
And Steers with a big rebound.
Right.
For Coppin State. Clayton back outside. Fulton. He hits a three.
They call it a two. They call it a two.
Oh, they call it a two? Andrews Fulton. It was a two. More importantly, it went in. 5-point ball game, 68-65, 3:29 to go. There's a screen by Harris. Auslander comes out playing defense as a travel on Copeland.
This is a big defense sequence right now for the Aggies.
Clayton will bring the ball up the floor. Andres Fulton on his wing to the left side. Clock down to the 3:02 mark. Morgan puts it up, and they're going to call a blocking foul that'll send Morgan to the free throw line. Lamar Morgan out of Willingboro, New Jersey.
Has not been to the free throw line tonight, so you're talking about first time in a clutch situation. He's got 2 shots.
And he has 15 points.
Look for some full court pressure if he makes the second one.
Shooting 50% from three-point land. That's 5 fouls
on Nelson Nweki.
On Nweki, yep. So he goes out with 2:56 to go. First one is good. So he goes out with 3 points and 2 rebounds. Nweki. Both free throws good by Morgan. And now Coppin State decides they're going to talk things over. A 3-point ball game right now with 2:56 to go. That's the second time.
And
it was at 3 points. It was at 3 points, 61-58 with 6:45 to go, just about 4 minutes ago.
And A&T is not in the 1-and-1 yet. Only 14 fouls for Coppin State, whereas Coppin State is in a double bonus. That could be critical right now, so you can play all out defensively. As long as it's not a shooting foul, you got a chance to really get after and try to deny and hope that you could potentially get a steal or something.
One of the things, the Aggies kind of a reversal in terms of roles, because they were the team that had the fewest fouls or committed the fewest fouls in the conference throughout the season.
They've done all year. They've been a great team to play defense without fouling. Tonight has been just the opposite.
When they went down to Tallahassee to play Florida A&M earlier in the season, they came away with a 24-point loss. But more importantly, they only scored 39 points against Florida A&M. What happened in that game?
I asked the coach about that, and he said they couldn't throw it in the ocean.
And they were right
and
near
they were
the
there
ocean.
at the ocean. A little pressure shown by the Eagles.
Down the lane, runner, no good. Morgan with the rebound. Oh, the missed shot by Langley. Nice move by Clayton. And it's a 1-point ball game. Coppin State hanging tough. Langley, and he puts it in for 2.
The answer. The young man knows how to win.
2 minutes. Auslander short. And Gantz with the rebound.
Got a good look that time.
He sure would have. If that
got a good look.
That could have made a difference, couldn't it? Ed Mead at the table getting ready to check back in for Jay Joyner and the Aggies. And a foul. And free throws. Auslander will pick up the foul. They're going to go to the free throw line with Ron Jackson.
Nice dribble penetration that time by Quay Copeland. Found his buddy Ron Jackson. Now let's see if Mr. Jackson can culminate from the foul line.
Auslander picks up his 4th personal foul. 1:39 to go. 3-point ball game. A&T. Here's an interesting form. There's no arc to the ball, is
right.
it?
And he shoots it from almost flat. Bucket here could put the Aggies up 5.
Sela comes back in for the Aggies. Misses the second one. 71-67. 4-point game. In the corner. Down low. They came out on Auslander. Nice follow by Steers of the missed shot.
Got to put a body on somebody. 5 to the glass. Everybody's got to get in there and try to rebound at crunch time.
71-69. 1 minute and 2 seconds, and the clock continuing to run. We're under a minute. And a 2-point ball game here at the Scope in Norfolk. Winner to the semifinals on Friday. Down the lane is Langley. Langley backs it out. Tries to get it inside. Comes into the hands of Morgan. A chance to tie it. Auslander all the way across to Morgan. Long 3. Yes, no. It went in and came right back out. And a foul in the backcourt by Andrews Fulton.
Lamar Morgan shooting and backing up. If he's shooting the 3 and going to the basket, he potentially could have gotten an offensive rebound because the ball bounced exactly where he left from. Teaching
Long
point.
Rebound.
Long rebound. He's backing up instead of following his shot.
So 30-second timeout. Teams talking it over. Strategy with 32 seconds down the stretch. Still a 2-possession game. Still a 2-possession game for Coppin State. But the Aggies, with a 2-point advantage, they're going to have to play some great defense and try to get something going at the other end.
This is where your assistant coaches need to be telling the head coach who on the floor. You have a chart there, and you say, if Ibrahim Salah touches the basketball, foul him.
Gotcha.
Knowing who is the weak free throw shooters that are going to be on the floor. That's the responsibility of the assistant coaches to let the head coach know if number 10 touches it, we foul right away. If 15 touches it, we try to trap and make him get rid of it.
Nowicki, the only person in this game that has fouled out, and that is for the Aggies, while Sela has 4 fouls on him for Coppin State. 4 fouls on Auslander.
And the next foul by Coppin State will put the Aggies at the line for 1-1.
Well, at least they're not shooting 2.
Right.
Well,
and that's a good move. Putting Terry Harris, excellent free throw shooter, plus an excellent three-point shooter. You want 5 fairly decent free throw shooters right now in the ball game for the Aggies.
They've only shot 12 free throws all night long. That is North Carolina A&T. They've missed 4, 8 of 12 from the free throw line. On the other side, though, Coppin State has been to the free throw line 28 times. And 21 of 21.
21 of 28.
So the inbound, the ball will be Malik Gantz for North Carolina A&T. And it's taken away. And the Steers ties the ball game with 28 seconds to go.
Coach Jordan's going to let him play it out, put the ball in Quay Copeland's hands, and let him make a play. Look for a pick and pop.
We're either going to have overtime or we're going to have a winner with this basket right here. 7 seconds left on the game clock. Timeout called by Jay Joyner.
And he decided after about 4 seconds that they weren't really sure what they wanted to do. Now he's got these are the kind of things what you call special situations, Charlie, that you work on in training camp. When you have side out, 5 seconds left, side out, 4 seconds left. The set play that you want to try to run. He's got a play that he can get that ball. If the pick is set right, get that ball right in the MEAC, right in the middle of the lane. So it's a simple shot or potentially draw a foul. Your second option would be baseline corner where the guy can get a mid-range jump shot. Don't need a 3 right there. You need a high percentage shot off of some screens. If you're Coppin, you want to switch every screen. Switch every screen.
So 4.8 seconds remaining. 1 timeout left for Coppin State. A&T has none remaining. 4.8 seconds. And they're going to inbound it. And they're going to overtime. They had 3 opportunities at the basket.
I told you what they were going to run. They got the first shot to Jackson right at the rim. Missed it twice. And Coppin did not come up with the loose ball. Right now, all the momentum is on the side of the Coppin State Eagles. A&T is wondering what happened.
Well, they had 3 opportunities to win this ball game, but instead we're going into overtime here at the Scope in Norfolk. And we talk about overtime games this year. North Carolina A&T has only played 1, and that was against South Carolina State in Orangeburg, and they won that one by 3, 80-77. On the other side for the Eagles of Coppin State University, this is their first overtime game this season.
They lost one against James Madison in December.
Well, as far as in conference, conferences can play. That was a non-conference game.
Right.
They lost by 10, 81-71 at JMU down in Virginia. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. It's overtime. We'll play 5 minutes and see what happens. This is the way Duke Edsel wanted to go out with an overtime game. Back in a moment.
I can't believe it. I've been playing 4-on-4 with a barbershop quartet.
Pass the ball, pass the rock. We're open, just pass the ball.
Nah, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico. Yeah.
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
still on the air. As we start the overtime, it'll be the Aggies controlling the tip. It was Steers jumping with Ron Jackson. Right now, Cam Langley with the ball in his hands. Langley down the lane, dishes back outside. Harris. The jumper over Auslander, no good. Steers with the rebound. That jumper by Copeland just didn't fall for him that time. 4.5 to go. Down the lane. Looking for some help. Back out to Auslander. And now they'll set it up again. DeJuan Clayton. Pull-up jumper. Short. And the rebound by inside. They're going to call that goaltending. Ball offensive.
It was definitely in the circle. Great call. It was definitely in the circle. Nice effort by Justin Steers. Both teams are giving it all they got. Good thing they got a day off tomorrow, whoever wins this game.
Yeah. Everett Summers with the call that time.
It's the
ball
replay.
to the rim.
Yep, it was in the circle.
Cam Langley. Harris. Down the lane. And this foul is going against Steers. And that's going to send Malik Gantz, the senior, out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to the free throw line. We're in overtime here at the Scope in Norfolk.
Gantz is 2 for 2 so far tonight.
He has 4 points. He has 1 field goal, 2 free throws, make it 3 at the line. And he hits them both. Aggies lead it 73-71. DeJuan Clayton. 14 points for him tonight.
Almost a steal by Aaron Edmead.
Edmead guarding Clayton. Morgan, long jumper, in and out. And here's Edmead with it. Gives it off. And it's Langley walking it up the floor. 3:20 remaining in the overtime. 2-point lead for the Aggies. And Steers with the rebound. He's done a very good job on the board, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Steers now with 9 rebounds in the contest. With 13 points. Very close to a double-double. Clayton.
He babied that shot.
Fulton.
He didn't shoot it.
No, he didn't. Andrews Fulton had an opportunity.
Right, nice little mid-range jump shot. You got to follow through. You got to shoot it. You can't pray it in. You got to shoot it in.
2.5 minutes gone here in the overtime, and no score, no points on the board for Coppin. Only 2 for North Carolina A&T. We were tied at 71 after regulation. It's now 73-71 from the corner. 3 ball, misses everything. Battle on the floor for the loose ball. Edmead comes up with it. Shot clock. It's good by Harris.
Right place at the right time for Terry Harris.
76-71, a 5-point lead with 2:14 to go.
That's why you have a grad transfer who's been in the wars. It's like a NFL or NBA team signing a free agent veteran.
Harris goes to the sideline now after hitting that big 3. Terry Harris with 14 points. 4 people with double figures for the Aggies tonight for a team that doesn't average double figures. Copeland 14, Harris 14. Auslander, yes! He'll keep it close if he can hit those.
Big shot by Kent Auslander.
2-point ball game. A minute 42 to go. Jackson is 16 points. Langley has 10 points for the Aggies. There's a 3-ball, doesn't fall. And over the back, call is going to put Auslander at the free throw line. Yes, it will. And that may be, is that 5 fouls on Sulla? Yep, that's 5 on Sulla.
5 on.
So he fouls out.
And right now, Kent Auslander could get 5 points to tie this game back up. A big 3, and now he's got 2 free throws. For the night, he has shot 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He's got 2 shots, 2 big free throws, probably so far the biggest of his career at Coppin State.
Auslander at the free throw line. Six of 7 at the line tonight.
You got to be careful.
And
you can't
15
break
points.
that plane before that ball touches that rim, and it was real close that last time.
Makes them both, and it's tied at 76 with 1:32 to go. Auslander has scored their last 4 points from the field. 2, actually a 3. Last 5 points. Take that out of here. That's what Steer said.
Yeah, that's what Steer said. Philadelphia going against Philadelphia. That's his homeboy, Malik Gans's from Philadelphia. Big block by Justin Steers. They'll be talking about that on the playground this summer.
A minute 10 to go. 6 on the shot clock. This long jumper, that's no good. They're going to stay right here. They're going to call the foul on Andrews Fulton. And going to the free throw line will be Ron Jackson for 1 and 1.
And so far tonight, Ron is shooting 50%, 3 for 6. Got a 1 and 1 coming. Aggies still are not in the double bonus.
So a minute and 4 seconds. The time remaining is tied at 76. Auslander with 5 of the last points to tie the score for Coppin State. He hit a 3, and then he hit 2 free throws. They were down 76-71. And there's the flat shot by Ron Jackson. But he continues to roll. Ron Jackson, 17 points now. 4 for 7 at the free throw line.
Two big free throws for Ron Jackson. Puts the Aggies up 78-76. 1:04 left. I think he's got blood on his jersey, possibly. Blood on his leg.
Ron Jackson, maybe that was a result of that little collision he had with Andrews Fulton. Auslander's been playing with 4 fouls. So let's see what play that Juan Dixon draws up.
You definitely, if I'm Coppin State, you want to put the ball in DeJuan Clayton's hands. You want to spot up Lamar Morgan on one side, Kent Auslander On the other, let Justin Steers hang around the basket for offensive rebounding and let Andrews Fulton set the high ball screen and just play out of that and see what you get. A&T may go to a 2-3 zone to try to contest the shooters, Morgan and Auslander. If that happens, look for Clayton to just try to penetrate and play. A lot of strategy going on right now between the two coaches.
It certainly is. This is when you earn your dollars.
This is when you earn your money.
We're in overtime here at the Scope in Norfolk. At the end of one half, it was A&T leading by 8, 38-30. They led by as many as 10 in the second half. But Coppin State would not go away. And they came back and tied it with 27 seconds left in regulation to send this game into overtime. And in the overtime, we have a 78-76 lead for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T.
It was a big steal by Justin Steers late in that 27-second play you're speaking of. And again, this young man, just a freshman, going to be an outstanding player in the Coppin State Eagles basketball program.
There's a lot of water over there spilt on the opposite side, and they're over there trying to clear it up so nobody gets injured or falls into it.
Let's see what type of defense the Aggies come out in.
And again, you've got to know where Auslander is on the floor because he's your designated three-point shooter. He's going to inbound the ball for Coach Juan Dixon. His brother, assistant coach, up and trying to get his team fired up. Bringing it up the floor is DeJuan Clayton. He's into the front court now. Under a minute to go. Gets around the screen. Ed Mead goes down the lane against Ed Mead. And Ed Mead with the block of the shot by Clayton.
Aggies formed the wall at the basket that time. Clayton had to go through Ed Mead, Jackson, and Terry Harris. 14 seconds left on the shot clock.
Ed Mead listed at 5'10", and that may be generous. Clayton with the ball. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Almost lost it. Gets it back outside. 5 seconds on the shot clock. He's fouled.
Yeah, he definitely got fouled.
He'll shoot two. He'll shoot two. And that's on Jackson, Ron Jackson.
So far tonight from the line, DeJuan Clayton is 8 of 12. Big free throws right here. Could tie this ball game up.
And even if he ties it, they still have 2 possessions in case A&T goes back down and scores because there's 38 seconds left in the game. And Clayton with the free throw with his 15th point. 9 of 13 at the free throw line tonight for Clayton. And that one falls in.
Shooter's touch.
.38 seconds remaining.
Let's see what the Aggies do. They will probably run this shot clock down to about 5 seconds.
Still only 18 fouls against Coppin State. And one. Steers picks up the foul as that young man has had a whale of a night. Ron Jackson for North Carolina A&T.
And it was all set up by the penetration and pitch from Cam Langley, the quarterback.
He's leading all scorers in this game so far. And he's done a good job at the free throw line. 5 of 8 this evening. Ron Jackson.
Langley's got 12 assists right now.
And 20 points for this young man. trying to make it a 3-point ball game now with this free throw. And he does. 81.
Big
78.
3-point play, the old-fashioned way.
17 seconds to go. Ron Jackson. So that's the 9th team foul against Coppin State. So the next foul, both teams are shooting the double bonus. Timeouts. Coppin State still has 2 remaining. A&T is out of timeouts. And this is one of those situations we talked about a little bit, side where they could make the rule where if you're Coppin State, right, you can get the ball in the front court.
The NBA and the women play the same way the NBA plays. And I'm looking for the men to go to that at some point in the near future.
Have you heard any talk about it?
No, there's always discussion, but never any movement, really.
I know they're not going to change the quarters. They, for whatever reason, they don't want to do that.
Right.
We're in overtime here at the Scope in Norfolk, along with Alexander, Charlie Neal courtside, and what has been a pretty good game between these two schools. Remember, they only met once during the regular season, and it was North Carolina A&T winning it by 9 back on January 21st in Greensboro, North Carolina. So Auslander, plenty of time, 17 seconds on the clock, but down by 3. Here's Clayton bringing it up the floor. And that may have been, I don't know if that was intentional or not.
I think so, because you're putting a weak free throw shooter at the line.
Andrews Fulton, a 63% free throw shooter, is going to the line. And he's 1 of 2. This is only his well, he hits that one. Second shot for Andres Fulton. No good. And they lose it. They had an opportunity, that is the A&T Aggies, of grabbing that rebound, and they were unable to do it. 81-79. It'll be Coppin State getting the ball with 11 seconds to go.
As now Juan Dixon has taken a timeout to set up a baseline out of bounds play with 11 seconds to try to tie the game
or win it.
Or win it.
Let's see here. They had a golden opportunity to grab that missed shot. That is the Aggies, but couldn't hold on.
Ty Lyons, freshman. As you said, he's not a freshman now, only in the classroom. But
Tyrone Lyons had his hands on it, but he
couldn't corral it.
He's one of those young men, came out of St. Anthony High School, out of Amityville, New York. Well, let's see what kind of strategy they draw up. Do you go for the 3 or you go for the tie?
If Auslander or Lamar Morgan,
well, one of the things you got to, it looks like Morgan is going to inbound the ball, probably get it to Steers, and then probably get it to back to him again. Here it goes. He's out of bounds. Stepped on the line. So that's an unforced error on the part of Coppin State.
I tell you, you work on these kind of things, and young men don't understand the critical nature of being able to be disciplined and make hard cuts in baseline out of bounds plays. You got to set good screens, make good hard cuts, and catch balls with 2 hands. That play right there could have possibly lost the game for Coppin State.
Ed Mead with the ball, and he's fouled right away.
Nice sportsmanship that time by Justin Steers.
So Ed Mead is going to the free throw line for North Carolina A&T. He has not been to the line at all tonight. He has 3 points, and that came from three-point range. This is his first free throw attempt, and he's a 71% free throw shooter.
He's got 2, double bonus. Still hope for the Eagles with a 3-point shot if he makes this one.
Is this going to be a 4 overtime game?
I actually was in one at Howard.
He made 1 of 2. 82-79, 3-point game. Clayton in and out. And it's all over. Boy, he had the shot. He had the look. It went in. It came back out. 82-79, the final. And North Carolina A&T will live to play another day where they will take on the winner of the Delaware State North Carolina Central game. Those two teams will play tomorrow, and A&T will play the winner of that game on Friday right here at the Scope at 8 p.m. For Cy Alexander and all of us here at the Scope in Norfolk, Charlie Neal saying so long. The final score once again in overtime. The Aggies beat the Coppin State Eagles 82-79. Good night.